Faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Change does not roll in on the wheels of inevitability, but comes through continuous struggle, and so we must straighten our backs and work for our freedom. Our lives begin to end the day. We become silent about things that matter. Love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, for we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Peace is not merely a distant goal that we seek, but a means by which we arrive at that goal. Life's most urgent and persistent question is, what are you doing for others? Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. True peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is the presence of justice. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. The time is always right to do what is right, and waiting for the perfect moment often means justice is delayed. Nothing in the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. The quality, not the longevity of one's life is what is most important. Freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. An individual has not begun to live until they can rise above their own narrow concerns and embrace the broader needs and struggles of humanity. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly, and this truth calls us to live in service to one another. Faith is taking the first step, even when you can't see the whole path before you, trusting that your effort matters. The time is always right to do what is right, for waiting for a perfect moment often means that justice is delayed and change never arrives. Our lives are connected in ways we cannot always see. Wisdom is recognizing that lifting another person up also lifts the whole of humanity with them. A wise person knows that darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Just as hatred cannot drive out hatred, only love can do that. The worth of a person is not in the titles they hold, but in the principles they refuse to betray, even when the cost is high. Intelligence plus character, that is the true goal of education, for knowledge without moral responsibility becomes a dangerous weapon in the hands of the selfish and unjust. It is foolish to think that silence in the face of wrongdoing protects you. It only strengthens the hand of the oppressor while weakening your own soul. True wisdom is not simply knowing what is right, but having the courage to act upon it, regardless of whether the crowd chooses to follow. A society that values things above people will eventually destroy both. Wisdom demands that we place human dignity above profit and compassion above ambition. The measure of your vision is not in how far you see, but in whether you see clearly enough to act with integrity in the present. One of the greatest lessons in wisdom is learning that peace is not the absence of tension, but the presence of justice in the hearts of people. Wise leadership serves others, rather than seeking to be served, for greatness is achieved through lifting others, not through standing on top of them. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Wisdom chooses the light. We must remember that injustice thrives, not only because of the actions of bad people, but because of the silence of those who know better. Wisdom teaches that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice, and your persistence helps it bend faster. Greatness is not found in dominance, but in humility, the ability to listen, learn, and change when truth is placed before you. In every decision, ask yourself not what is safest or easiest, but what is right, for wisdom follows truth, not convenience. A person who cannot see beyond their own desires is blind, but a wise person sees beyond themselves and acts for the good of all. Every generation must learn anew that freedom is never given voluntarily. It must be demanded, protected, and nurtured by those who value justice over comfort. Wisdom knows that progress is not automatic. It requires sacrifice, courage, and an unshakable belief that tomorrow can be better than today. You may face many defeats in your struggle, but defeat is never the end unless you choose to stop fighting for what is right and true. True success is not the absence of failure, but the ability to rise after every fall, stronger in resolve and wiser in judgment. The road to victory is paved with setbacks, yet every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to the dream you refuse to abandon. Failure is only final when you give it permission to be. Without your surrender, every setback becomes just another lesson on the way to success. Do not measure winning by personal gain, but by the good you have done for others and the justice you have helped to bring forth. Every great movement in history was born from people who were told they would fail, but who chose to keep moving forward anyway. It is better to fail while daring greatly for justice than to succeed at something that serves only selfish ambition and leaves the world unchanged. A dream worth having is a dream worth struggling for, even if the journey is long, painful, and filled with moments of doubt. The greatest victories often come from the darkest moments, where hope seems distant, but persistence refuses to let go of what is right. Defeat can break the body, but it cannot break the soul of a person who refuses to surrender their truth or their purpose. You have not truly lived until you have risked everything for what you believe in, knowing you may lose, but choosing to stand anyway. Failure is not a sign you are unworthy. It is proof that you dared to try when others were too afraid to begin. Winning without honor is no victory at all. True triumph is found in achieving success without sacrificing your principles or your humanity. Some of the most powerful movements began not with a victory, but with a loss that awakened the courage to fight harder. Each setback is an opportunity to sharpen your resolve, For without resistance, you will never know the strength you truly possess. Never fear losing, for even in loss you gain wisdom, courage, and the unshakable knowledge that you stood for what mattered most. Success built on injustice is a hollow crown. True victory is measured by the lives you lift and the truth you preserve. A person who wins without integrity loses far more than the one who fails while keeping their honor intact. The difference between failure and success is often one more try, one more step, one more refusal to give up when others have walked away. Every failure carries the seed of future victory, for it teaches you where to stand, how to fight, and why your cause matters. What you think about yourself shapes the life you live, for no external voice is more powerful than the one that speaks inside your own mind. Fear is a prison that exists only in the mind, and the moment you choose courage, its walls begin to crumble before your very eyes. Hate is too heavy a burden to bear, for it corrodes the soul of the hater long before it touches the one it is directed toward. Your thoughts shape your reality. If you choose to dwell on bitterness, your world will darken. But if you choose hope, light will follow you. Non-violence begins in the mind, for a peaceful heart produces peaceful actions, while an angry mind multiplies conflict even in the smallest of moments. The human mind is capable of extraordinary resilience when it is anchored in purpose, for meaning gives strength to endure even the harshest trials. Prejudice is not born in the heart, it is taught and learned, which means it can also be unlearned through truth and understanding. Your mental outlook can turn obstacles into opportunities, or opportunities into obstacles, depending on whether you choose to see with faith or with fear. Violence first takes root in the mind, and it is there that the seeds of peace must be planted if they are to grow in action. The greatest weapon of an oppressor is not force, but the convincing of the oppressed that they are powerless to change their condition. A mind committed to justice will find creative ways to bring about change, even when the path seems blocked by those who benefit from injustice. Hope is a psychological anchor that keeps the soul steady when the winds of life threaten to push you into despair. Bitterness poisons the mind and clouds judgment, making it impossible to see the path to reconciliation or to find the strength to forgive. The thoughts you feed daily will eventually become the life you live. Choose carefully whether you feed fear, anger, hope, or love. Understanding others begins with training your mind to listen without judgment, for the first step toward peace is truly hearing one another. When your mind is filled with purpose, your body finds the strength to act, even when the task seems far beyond your physical ability. Courage is a mental decision. Before it becomes a physical action, the battle is often won in the mind, long before it is won in reality. Your mindset can either make you a prisoner of your past or a builder of your future. The choice belongs to you each day. An unjust system survives by shaping the minds of the people to accept it. Freedom begins when the mind refuses to cooperate with oppression. If someone hates you and wants to see you sad, There are only 3 reasons. They hate themselves. They want to be you. They see you as a threat. Mental strength is not about suppressing fear or pain, but about facing them with the conviction that they will not define who you are.